So I've been like really addicted to Desperate Housewives lately, and most of my knitting stuff I knit on a knitting machine. But I can't really like watch a show on my TV and knit on the knitting machine at the same time. I wanted to like get snuggly, get cozy, be able to knit on this couch and watch Desperate Housewives. So I wanted to create a knitting pattern that was cute but kind of brainless, something I could just knit for fun in my free time. So I'm going to design a color block hood. It's going to be two panels essentially, a front and a side and a side panel, and they're going to connect at the top, and then there will be a collar around the bottom and around the face framing. So I'm going to take you with me as I create and design this. I'm probably going to end up writing two patterns for it, a hand knit version and a machine knit version. So hopefully you can look forward to those on my Etsy soon. So let's get started. So first things first, I start by casting on. I prefer to use the German twist cast on just because it's really easy to learn and it's really fast and fun, but also because it's very stretchy and it looks nice. So if you want it to be a raw edge, it will still look pretty and you don't have to worry about it not stretching over your head or your shoulders or whatever you're going to create with the cast on. So I always use it. I pretty much use it for everything anytime I'm hand knitting. So I started by knitting half of my stitches in green, and then I switched to half my stitches in yellow. And then once we're done with the cast on process, the actual stockinette will follow the same pattern of half green, half yellow, and I'll just use intarsia knitting for the color work. As long as you cross the yarns over each other when you switch colors, that will help kind of cinch those two panels together so you're not knitting two separate panels. And after a cast on, we just got the stockinette portion, which is really fun and exactly what I wanted for this kind of knit, where I'm really mostly focusing on the show and then just kind of knitting without thinking, which can be really fun sometimes. I don't knit by hand very often because it really hurts my hands if I do it too much, but sometimes I do miss it with all the machine knitting that I do. So it's fun to get back to the basics and just knit regular stockinette, nothing fancy. It's the next morning. I've got my coffee and I finished 2 of the squares. It's gonna end up being 8 squares. Got my Desperate Housewives on and I'm ready to get started. Look at that nice crisp corner. It's gonna be nice. Here I take the non-working ends of the yarn and I trap them where they're at by knitting over them with the new yarn color, in this case blue. And I'm going to do this every time I'm on the back side of the panel and I'm going from red to blue. And what that means is that these pieces of yarn that we would have to weave in later are actually just going to get tucked into the seam of where these two colors meet, and it makes a nice neat back. Okay, the main 2 large squares are done. I was comparing them against my head size and I feel like they would fit if I just sewed them up now and added ribbing, but I have like a small head. I have like a youth large size head, I think, so I want to add a little bit of extra space for the people with normal size heads. So I'm going to essentially create a stripe of small different squares and add it to where the like back seaming would be to the front. Okay, I feel like it's coming together. So let me show you what it looks like on. Very cool, very stylish. So it looks like from the side. Other side. I feel like it's getting there. Like obviously it looks a mess, especially with this thing going on there. But I'm gonna add the ribbing to this part right here. Okay. Next, I'm going to knit the collar around the face framing portion of the hood, and then we're going to fold it over and bind it off that way, and this will allow it to kind of have a channel that we can string some yarn through and create like a cinching part of the hood. And now last steps, we're gonna block it. So I did start off with wet blocking it here and letting it dry, and then after it dried, I kind of realized, you know, it is acrylic yarn because I just used scrap yarn for this, so maybe I should steam block this instead. So I ended up steam blocking it as well as wet blocking it. But if you're doing this, I recommend just start with steam blocking. Okay, my final thoughts on the Colorblock hood. It's cute. It's huge. I feel like it's like a little more oversized than I wanted it to be. It's not something I'd probably wear. It's a little too obvious. I don't know, I wear more muted stuff, but I think it's very cute. I think it gets what it's going for, which is the like, you know, color pop, a Colorblock, obviously, kind of style. My main like issue with it ended up being that the ribbing is just not like as cinched as I wanted it to be. So partially to fix that, what I did is I did this crochet slip stitch across where the ribbing meets the rest of the hood, and I think that it both like cleans it up and also provides a little bit of like extra shaping. With the stitch, I also included an elastic thread, so it's a little extra stretchy. So if I did a hood again, I'd probably do a decreased ribbing, or maybe I'd go down even one more needle size or something like that. But overall, she's cute, I think. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you guys have any like suggestions for hoods and like how you would make it differently next time, that sort of thing. It's definitely like way bigger than I planned. Like I wanted it to be 28 centimeters by 28 centimeters, and I think 28 for like this direction ends like here. So I got pretty much, I didn't need this back panel, but I did need it on the top. So I'm glad I included it there. So thank you for joining me. If you want to check out the pattern, it will be available at my Etsy store soon. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you. Bye.